And I want it to be like a little bit of conflict that takes us deeper.
Just because you don't have a serious problem now doesn't mean that you never will. So why wouldn't you prepare ahead of time and be able to practice it?
Even if it's just little things, just little blips, why not turn those from negatives into positives?
Last time we sat down with Joseph and Hannah to talk about their experience in creating connection, what it opened up for them, and why one class turned into a hunger for more. If you missed part one, go back and give it a listen first, because today's conversation builds right on top of it. In this episode, Joseph and Hannah are back to talk about conflict to connection, what they thought conflict was before the class, what shifted for them in just 2 weeks since they took the class, and a real honest look at a disagreement they had the very night before we recorded this. They get really vulnerable about how they each show up in conflict, what they're still learning, and why they think that anyone, not just couples or individuals with serious problems, should take this class. So let's get into it.
How did God design us to be human? This is the Human Project Podcast. My name is Chris, and these conversations are about being relational disciples who know, love, and follow Jesus. The conversations we have on the Human Project exist to equip you to do just that. So thanks for diving into the Creating Connection class. You guys also went to the Conflict to Connection class. What kind of prompted the desire to do that?
Yeah, I would say it was probably two things. One, like we both just really enjoyed the Creating Connection class, and so we just wanted more. And it seemed like, that was kind of, well, I guess we couldn't go to the one in April because of another commitment. But
which was the Renewing Your Mind class.
Yes, which we plan to do this fall when you do the next round of them.
So you'll see Joseph and Hannah there.
Now we're held accountable.
But yeah, so I think one element was just like, okay, we want more of this, like more of this instruction, more of this practice. But then I also think Hannah and I aren't big fighters. Like we don't, I think, have a lot of conflict. But I think when we do have points of tension or places where we're disagreeing, we don't always handle it best because our styles and our preferences for handling conflict are like polar opposites.
What do yours look like?
So I am someone who likes to process things out loud and in the moment. I grew up in a house where it was like, took the you don't go to bed angry as like, we will stay up till 3 a.m. if we have to figure this out. So yeah, that was me.
I can't think about anything in the moment. I'm like, I don't even know how I feel about this. That as you're bringing it up, I need to think about it by myself, process it. Then I can like figure out what my stance on it is. And we'll come back to this.
Weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, and I'm like him wanting to stay up till whenever it's resolved. I'm like, the longer we stay up, the more tired I'm getting, the less productive it's going to be. Like, we need to just go to sleep. And maybe when I wake up, it won't even bother me in the morning because I'm probably just saying this because I'm tired,
Yeah. So I think we'd already grown in that some just over the course of being married for 8 years. And from both sides, like I think I've had to learn to, hold my thoughts in for a little bit and give time. And Hannah has been gracious to meet me in the middle on that sometimes and being willing to jump into discussions. And yeah, I think just still probably the times that conflict does come up, we don't handle it the best, I would say sometimes. And so I think that was the other motivation. It's just like, let's get better at this. And I think because both of us are like pretty, I would say, soft people in that area, like neither of us we both don't like conflict. Like we don't want to be in that state. I hate that feeling of just like unrest between us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, yeah, let's figure out how to get better here.
I would agree that coming out of the Creating Connection class, we were like, wow, that was so good and helpful. And
we never have any conflict anymore. And if we do, we handle it perfectly every time.
The Creating Connection class.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't solved then.
But still, we never have conflict anymore.
That was our motivation. Was like, wow, that was so good. Like, let's do another one.
Nice. So conflict tends to be a pretty loaded word. Like, what did you think about conflict coming into the class? And what do you think about what that looks like now? What's shifted?
I love it now. Just kidding.
Well, you loved it before.
I think to put this episode in time, we just went to the class, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it still is settling in and sinking in. I think similar to what I was saying with the creating connection, it's given me language to put around things and to realize like why I'm responding a certain way in a certain moment. I think the piece about flooding and having, I think the way you put it was something to the effect of like, when you're flooding, it's impossible to have a productive conversation. And that's helped me as someone who wants to like jump right into the conversation and like, we got to figure this out right now. It's helped me to like given me some science behind like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like if you're flooding, if you're so emotional and not thinking clearly, like you're only going to make things worse right now, buddy. Like, and I think that's helped. I mean, I hope as, you know, we have conflict in the future that I'll remember that in the moment. But I think at least for now, it's given me some, again, language mindset to be like, okay, you gotta, like, you're not going to be productive right now. Even if you feel like you want to talk about it and hash it out right now, it's not going to work. So that's, I think, just new ways to think about it and new language to put around it that I hope as we have conflict in the future will transform into better conflict.
Yeah. And
conflict that actually takes our relationship deeper and further versus just as like a little blip and then we go back to status quo. Because I kind of feel like, I don't know if, I don't want to put words in Hannah's mouth, but I feel like a lot of times because we don't have a lot of conflict and because it's usually not like major blow up sort of conflicts, like it's just kind of a little blip on the radar. And then we just kind of like, we're here, like little blip of conflict, and then we're just back here. And I want it to be like a little blip of conflict that takes us deeper. Yeah.
Deeper connection, deeper conflict.
Deeper connection.
Okay.
Yeah. And like stronger, closer.
Yeah.
As a result of it.
Conflict that leads to connection.
Whoa.
This episode is brought to you by Equipping Ministries Conflict Connection Class.
Thank you for the voiceover. Yeah. How about for you, Hannah? What's kind of shifted since you took the class as it relates to conflict?
I think hearing like what's going on in your brain and having that language of like the flooding and the different, what are they called? The
Distress
conflict
responses?
Yes, distress, but they're the animals
Yeah.
or whatever. Like knowing your animal and like naming your animal, I feel like has been just super helpful to understand what's happening in a conversation. Like I flood very easily in those situations. And so that the knowing that has been helpful and like trying to tell myself, okay, like it's fine and don't do that, you know, like just chill out. But then I think for me too, it's also been helpful to see like when our 3-year-old is having that same response that I would either to something I'm saying or something Joseph's saying, to be like, she can't answer right now because that's what's happening in her brain, or, you know, we're doing this. And so she's deering or whatever it is, has just helped me give her some grace and like, okay, we need to just like take a break and then we'll come back to this so that she can actually understand what she's feeling. Cause right now she's just too overwhelmed.
That's good.
So,
Yeah. Way to tie it into the parenting aspect. That's gold.
yeah.
I think the danger with that is it's so good to have an awareness of what's happening, but it's not an excuse for sin. It's not an excuse for bad behavior. It's okay. Like, how do I correct this? Doesn't always have to be right there and then in the moment. It's okay. Maybe let's get to a spot of let's calm down, and then we can start to restore the relationship with kids. Is gold.
I feel like knowing that too helps us. Like, I don't want to speak for Joseph, but he's a lion.
Yeah.
And
Especially with my kids. Like
Yeah.
I just default to the I am the parental authority. I am your dad. You will fall in line.
Yeah, and a lion is like similar to like a fight response.
Yeah.
mode.
yeah.
Yep.
And I feel like mine differs. If I'm the one confronting someone, I am not the sloth, the possum.
Possum, which is more of like a fawn.
Yes.
Response.
Like, avoid as long as possible, sugarcoat it some, you know, whatever. If I'm the one being confronted, I'm like 100% deer.
Which is freeze.
Yeah, freeze. And so I feel like Joseph being aware that he is a lion, he's actively trying not to get too worked up to explode or be aggressive, which helps me then not feel in danger. So to not actually in danger, but my firefly is like, oh, he's getting really intense. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to, I think it helps me when he's a little bit calmer. Then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I don't freeze as much. I'm able to like keep talking and be more communicative, I think, too. With our kids, too. Like if he's being calmer, then Liza will be calmer,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that too. I think the other thing for me coming out of it was with our kids. And I think even more so than probably between the two of us, noticing with a 3-year-old, like there's no way that we're going to have a productive conversation that leads to her heart changing right now because she is, sometimes you have to discipline in the moment. You have to come in with the stop doing that. You're going to get hurt. Don't stand on the couch on the edge of our deck because you're going to fall off. And you have to be a bit intense and not intentionally to scare them, but scare them a little bit because you need to be like, get down right now. But then realizing like, okay, she then starts crying or whatever because she got scared, she got startled, and realizing, okay, I can't now follow that up with the long-term instruction right now. Like I need to let her calm down, come back later. Because again, as someone who likes to deal with everything in the moment, I'm like, for better or worse, I have a very task-driven, like, okay, she was standing on the couch on the deck. I came out with the first maybe loud, quick, get down before you fall. And then I immediately want to check the box of I've taught her why not to stand on the deck and just move on with my
Right.
life. Where like, it's hard for me, like my natural state to add something to my to-do list to come back to later. Like I just want to check it off and get it done with and move on.
Well, on the flip side, too, knowing that when I'm the one confronting, you said fawn, or I like try to avoid.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's like, okay, why don't we do this? And sometimes I'm not direct enough.
Yeah.
So I've been like, okay, I need to like let her know my expectations so that she knows how to obey and do it in a way that's like not too intense, but in a way that's clear and not just like trying to run away from it or avoid confronting her when she's doing something or whatever.
Nice. Ooh, I love the parenting aspect. We're coming up with some good skeleton for our future parenting class we're going to have here.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the works. Coming soon to
Coming
a
soon.
theater near you.
This segment is brought to you by the Future Equipping Ministries parenting class.
That's good. It sounds like it was really helpful for you guys to kind of have that awareness of what's going on in our brain, the amygdala firing, stuff getting shut off from our prefrontal cortex, and like the flooding response mode. Where have you already shared some examples of where you've got to apply that. So that's great. Thanks for sharing that. So you guys mentioned that you don't really tend to have a lot of conflict between the two of you, and conflict's not necessarily bad. It's not something to avoid. It's not something to jump into either. It's something to be very mindful of. Was there anything that, as you were going through the class, you're like, oh, that gives language to something we've already been doing well? Give yourself a little pat on the back.
I was just thinking more of the like, no, but so, I mean, honestly, for me, no, like it was more convicting.
Okay.
I'll say the one thing, it gave some more language around like why my wife is right, that it's not always best to talk about things in the moment. Like the whole flooding piece was like,
We have that on camera.
that that gave some like, because again, like I said earlier, I know what you mean by information or transformation, not information,
Formation
not
over information.
but like the information really helps me to be like the whole flooding thing that I was talking about a few minutes ago. Having that information of like chemicals are happening in your brain that literally makes it impossible for us to talk about this right now and get anywhere good with it. That helps me in the moment be like, oh, like we literally can't. Like this is not a you don't want to, I want to. This is it's impossible for us to have a good productive conversation because of what one or both of our brains are doing right now. So that was helpful. I think another thing, just like full transparency and vulnerability, we had like a little bit of conflict last night, and I don't think I handled it super well, but what it did do is give me language this morning to clarify and apologize for the pieces I didn't handle well, but not like, because we both, I think, ultimately hate conflict. I feel like both of our defaults is if we have some conflict, we go settle down, and then we both are just like, I'm sorry. And I think having some language to clarify, like, I'm sorry that I acted like a lion, but like there's still some actual, real, hopefully good conflicts that we need to talk about and make progress on, was helpful this morning to like have some clarity on like, I'm sorry for, because again, I don't yell, I'm not a shouter, but I just talk a lot. Like, it's my personality. So I think I am a lion in the sense that I just dominate the conversation and I kind of vent my frustrations. And then because Hannah is a deer in those situations, she just is
Doesn't say anything.
kind of like,
I'm like, I don't know what to say, and I'm scared to say anything to wind you up anymore. You know?
yeah. So it at least helped, like, while I have not put everything fully into practice yet, to not have gone there to begin with, it at least helped me like essentially apologize for being a lion, but say, hey, but the sentiment that I was sharing with you is still something I was feeling. I just did not, I shared it as a lion rather than as a stable, not flooding person. And so I think that was really helpful.
I feel like maybe this is not accurate. I feel like last night it went like, I could tell that you were trying to hold back
Well,
some.
thanks.
And I felt like I was like intentionally trying not to be
Yeah.
there. I was like, okay, I need to.
I agree with that for sure.
I'll pause and think about what I'm saying and then say it. So it like took me longer to say it, but I was like still trying to like say it now instead of saying go to sleep.
Another thing that you
Even
did,
though that's what I really wanted to say.
another thing that you did really well, now that I'm thinking back on it, is you asked for, like, you had a couple times where you asked very specifically for, I forget the word that we use in the class, but like the direct
request.
ask,
Or
Direct
what?
request.
with the chat, not acrostic.
Clear that thing.
Yeah, like you had a couple
yeah.
very clear, humble. Wait, I got it. Clear, humble, actionable, timely requests.
Yeah.
We just
Wow.
retaught this to some
Yeah.
kids,
That's
so-
awesome.
And I didn't catch that in the moment, but now thinking back on it, like there were a couple times that you were like, okay, if that's how you're feeling, I need you to explain this certain thing to me, or I need you to give me an example of what you mean by that, so that we have clarity. So yeah, maybe we are putting it into practice more than we thought.
So how'd that look from your angle? Do you feel like that the class helped equip you better for last night's?
Yeah,
Disagreement?
I didn't necessarily think in my head like do the chat thing, but I think it just helped me to be like, okay, there's an element of this that should and can be discussed
Mm-hmm.
right now, but then there's a line that's like, if we go too deep into this, it was like 11:30 or midnight or whatever, then it's like not going to be productive.
Yeah.
So we need to just figure out what we need to do. And I think I also like toward the end of the conversation, I was like, what is your goal for this conversation right now? Which I think is something that had come out of that class of like going in with a clear goal. Cause I'm like, if the goal is to solve it, like we probably aren't going to like exactly solve it right this second. Cause it requires some things that we needed to like experiment with.
Yeah.
So that when it was like, okay, well, my goal is to just have it said and, be on the same page or whatever. Then I'm like, okay, well, we've done that. So can we go to sleep now?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that was helpful too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even you asking that question was helpful for me, of like, because again, my way of being a lion is not to shout or throw things or whatever. It's just to like keep rehashing the same thing over and over and to just keep talking. And so when you said that, I was like, okay,
Until you
like-
feel
Like
it's
I've gotten it off my
resolved or
chest,
something,
basically.
or
Yeah.
resolved, yeah.
yeah. And so even you asking that direct, clear, humble, actionable, timely question was like helpful for me, of like, okay, actually I think I've said what I wanted to say. I've expressed the things I was feeling and the things that were frustrating me. And there is nothing else that I'm looking to get out of this tonight. And it kind of like cut me off when, like in a good way, cut me off when I needed to be done.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tangible example of it. Is like you started practicing some things that were uncomfortable for you, and you started practicing some things that were uncomfortable for you. And in a way, that was a way of honoring each other's styles, the way that like you process information together. So
Yeah.
sounds like a great win, guys.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Not to air our dirty laundry.
Yeah. No.
Are you okay with that being
Yeah.
Yeah.
shared? Okay.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
That's gold. Thanks guys for exploring that. I think it was really helpful to see a tangible example of that practiced and walked out. And we always have conflict around us. And so it's a great tool to think about and process for how we can do that better. I'm curious for folks that are kind of on the fence or they've been thinking about taking a class from Equipping Ministries. What would you say to those that think like, this isn't really for me. This is only for people with serious problems?
One, I would say all problems are serious problems. Like if you have conflict with someone that you care for, that's serious, even if it's a minor thing. Like we are, as believers, are called to unity. And just because you're not on the verge of divorce or the verge of breaking up a lifelong friendship doesn't mean that like a little bit of conflict is not harming your unity with someone. So, but I know what you mean. Like, oh, we're pretty happy. Like we don't have a lot of big issues. I think so. Get better. Like even if you don't have the big issues, I don't think there's any relationship that's totally void of conflict, for the long term. And so why not like, I feel like you said when we started this conversation, conflict is typically thought of as a negative term. It has a negative connotation. So why not like learn how to strip that out and be like, even if it's just little things, just little blips, why not turn those from negatives into positives? And I think again, it's only been 2 weeks, but I think and hope will be for us is like, we don't, at least at this point in our lives, have what people would consider big problems. But I think it's still being helpful that even when we have small disagreements, we're working through them better and learning to converse better and converse at the right times and apologize better and not have even the little bits of damage that come from a small disagreement. Yeah.
All right. So Hannah, what would you say to people that think this isn't really for them? It's just for people with serious problems.
I would just say, just because you don't have a serious problem now doesn't mean that you never will. Like he was saying, even if things are good in your relationship now and you don't have conflict, like chances are something will happen in the course of your life. So like, why wouldn't you prepare ahead of time and be able to practice it with the small things? Like, I don't know, someone's not taking the trash out as much as you like or something minor, you know?
Hypothetically.
No, that doesn't happen in our house. Joseph's very good about taking the trash out. But just something minor like that, like practice it. So going back to what we said before of like not feeling comfortable at first and then you get used to it and you can, it's just natural to you, like having that feel more natural for when something big comes up. And we are doing marriage counseling with some friends right now, and my friend is a therapist. And so we were like, we were doing our session on communication and things with them. So we're like, we're going to share some of the stuff that we learned. And I was like, she's going to know like most of this stuff that we're sharing. And even she was like taking notes and was like, wow, and asking us more questions. And like, she was getting a lot out of what we said too. And I'm like, if a therapist is learning stuff from this course, then anyone probably needs to, because I don't know as much about emotions and conflict and all that kind of thing as a therapist would. Yeah.
It's very intimidating when a professionally trained therapist asks you to give them pre-marriage counseling. Like, I think you're going to know more than me here.
She's very
That's
humble.
awesome.
Yeah. She's very humble and
That's
ready
been
to
good.
learn. Yeah.
But we've honestly have used a lot of the tools. Like we haven't taught the full classes in Equipping Ministry style, but we've used multiple of the tools in those sessions with them to help teach them and hopefully help them, start off even better than we did in their marriage.
Yeah.
So it's been very
we told them
timely.
they should come to the October version.
The
next one.
conflict class is in November.
In November. Yeah. We were like, you guys should go.
The Creating Connection class is in September. And we'll also do a virtual class in August. So
Ooh.
yeah, lots of opportunities to engage. Thanks for the plug. Last question on that topic. Last question. If a friend texted you tomorrow and said, "Hey, should I sign up for this Equipping Ministries class?" What would you tell them?
Yes.
I would say, why didn't you sign up already?
Oh.
Oh, wow. One up. So elaborate on that.
Are you talking about the conflict one specifically?
Any
or
of the
either?
classes? So whether it's creating connection, whether it's conflict connection, those are the two you guys have been in, or the renewing. What about any of those is appealing?
I mean, I would say yes. I would say there's literally no reason not to. And I don't mean that to sound cheesy, but like these things are only going to help you if, especially assuming these friends are believers, like these are only going to help you be a better disciple of Jesus and make more disciples of Jesus. Like that's what it ultimately comes down to for me, even in a marriage. Like I don't just want to have a happy marriage. I want us to help each other become more like Jesus. And I think this having good, healthy, deep relationships is necessary for that. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
I should have said, I would say, I'm hearing that you're apprehensive about taking the EMI course. Would you consider that correct?
A reflective listen.
But yeah, no, I would tell them like anyone can get anything out of it. And yeah, like what do you have to lose? You're only going to become a better communicator or better friend or better spouse from taking it.
Let me press on it just a little bit. But it's a whole day class. I don't want to give up a whole Saturday. I don't want to spend $100-ish on it. What would you say to that?
I would say,
Oh,
go ahead.
I would say I get it. Like it's time, it's money, like, but especially like the longer you wait, like I feel like an investment like that is better to do sooner so that you use it longer. You know, like I always think when I go thrifting or something and I like find a shirt that I like, I'm like, what's the price per wear of this item? And so I'm like, your price per use of your tools only gets lower the longer that you have that skill because you're going to be able to use it more.
Don't delay, sign up today.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I would say I'll use a personal testimony for my answer. Hannah, I think the combination of being an introvert and like we're busy. We have a lot of leadership responsibilities with church. Both of our immediate families live within 10 or 15 minutes of us, so we're doing a lot with them. And so Hannah especially is very protective of our schedule and making sure that we're getting good family time with our kids. And after creating connection, when I was like, hey, we should sign up for Conflict to Connection, she's like, yeah, let's do it. And so like, if you don't know Hannah, that should like, I don't think you'll realize how much of a testimony for her to immediately, like without even second guessing it, be like, I will
Dedicate.
allocate and dedicate an entire Saturday to that. That should tell you enough right there that like the amount of benefit that she saw from the first course, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't even like, well, we're kind of busy that month. Oh, well, the week before we already have plans. So it was like, no, yes, we're doing it. It's worth it. And what's one Saturday and $100 or a couple $100 in the grand scheme of making conflict grow your relationships deeper instead of fracturing them? Like, that's really, I'm not, obviously, like, this class is not like, you do this class and everything's perfect, but like, it is real practical tools that really make conflict happen better and happen for good instead of for evil. Makes me think of like what the enemy meant for evil, God meant for good. That's kind of what this class intends to do for conflict. If you want to shove it in the devil's face, take this class.
You have the potential of sacrificing a relationship because you handle something poorly or, you don't have the tools to know how to navigate something really hard, or you pay $200 or however much it is. And you have the tools and you can keep those valuable relationships.
Yeah.
And hopefully just continue to go deeper with them instead of them being on the fence.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to dive into what the classes looked like for you, how you put them into practice, even just in 2 weeks. That's amazing to hear. Really thankful for you guys. Thankful for you guys getting to be the first guests on this podcast. I don't know if we've said that. Like, this is probably what, Derek, episode 80? Something like that.
Whoa.
So yeah, kudos to you all. Like, Yeah, super excited for what God's doing in you. Super excited to see what he continues to do in you using these skills and all the things that you guys are doing. So love you guys. Thanks again for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us for part 2 of this conversation with Joseph and Hannah. If there's one thing I hope you take away from these 2 episodes, it's this: that conflict doesn't just have to be something you survive. It can actually be something that takes you deeper with the people that you love and are in community with. If Joseph and Hannah's story kind of resonated with you, don't just sit on the fence. Come join us for Creating Connection or Conflict Connection or a Renewing Your Mind class. They're all coming up this fall, and we have virtual options available as well. We'd love to see you there. Check it out on equippingministries.org/events.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We believe the world changes when people are not just informed, but formed. Relational discipleship is how that happens. Real connection, honest relationships, and a life shaped by following Jesus together. A dedicated team makes this podcast possible, and we're so thankful for every one of them. If you want to go deeper or be part of what God is building, visit us at equippingministries.org.